Decided to shoot at the business Thursday morning. Miami-Dade police said 3 people were working inside the cafe shortly after 9 a.m. when Lopez drove to the shopping plaza where the cafe is located and discharged 1 round toward the business's cafeteria window. Police said the bullet penetrated the glass window as 3 employees ran for cover. Luckily, no one was injured. According to Angel Rodriguez of the Miami-Dade Police Department, officers spotted Lopez's white Ford Explorer as the suspect was trying to get away and chase the vehicle. The police chase ended in the area of Southwest 136th Street and 157th Avenue. Mm-hmm. According to his arrest report, Lopez failed to comply with officers' command to get out of his vehicle after the police chase. So he was removed from the vehicle and taken to the ground. They neutralized the threat.
They de-escalated it.
The situation. Authorities said he continued to resist officers while on the ground by tensing his arms and placing them under his body by his chest as they attempted to put his hands behind his back and handcuff him. Shortly after 9:30, he was finally placed into handcuffs and seated on the sidewalk. He appeared to have an injury to his forehead and was treated by Miami-Dade Fire Rescue personnel. According to his arrest report, Lopez was taken to the Hammocks police station where he invoked his right to remain silent.
There you go. That a boy.
Lopez was arrested on charges of shooting a deadly missile, aggravated assault with a firearm, fleeing and eluding police, and resisting an officer without violence. He had 2 black eyes and other injuries to his face in his mugshot. His arrest report did not state whether he sustained those injuries during the takedown. The arrest report also did not state from which police agency Lopez retired. And a motive for the shooting remains unclear.
You know, that's ridiculous. You can find out where the guy worked and what police department within, a couple of minutes. I'll find out when we go to break and we'll find out where he worked. But it doesn't matter.
Isn't that crazy?
No, it is crazy. Why did he shoot it? Nobody knows. The coffee was cold, maybe? The croqueticas were stiff? A little stiff?
I don't know.
They weren't soft enough?
I don't know.
You know, what is it with the people nowadays? My biggest goal is to get up, have breakfast, obviously be alive, and then go play golf, and then relax, and then jump in the pool, and then, just do retirement stuff. Go to a cigar shop, smoke a cigar.
Retirement stuff.
But why
y
am I
después venir aquí a fajarte conmigo.
Claro. No. Y tener que lidiar con
el bombón
Magali.
de la radio.
El bombón le mete ahí a los botones ese y acaba con medio mundo. Con medio mundo. Ella aprieta un botón que yo no sé el botón que pero explota, hace como si fuera una bomba nuclear.
I was about to say that. It's the nuclear codes. She
Claro.
has the nuclear codes. You didn't know that?
Yes, the nuclear codes. That was a good one, though. Yeah, it's a little side joke there. But, and every day is a new thing. I carry my gun everywhere. Tell you a little story. We're playing golf the other day. Myself, a cop, an active cop that's on the job, still on the job, and another retired cop. Okay? A friend of mine, Frank. And we're all 3 playing golf, and we're right next to the sidewalk, right? All 3 carts are there, and we're on the green trying to, And this idiot comes in a bicycle with a girl, and I guess he wanted to impress her, because before we used to impress girls by taking her out to dinner, taking her to a movie, blah, 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 blah. But now the way they impress her, guess what this idiot tells them? And I hear him. He goes, I'm going to steal one of their carts. So I turn around. I turn around and I go, hey. He goes, what? And I go, do me a favor. Can you take the blue one? The one with the blue bag. I want you to take that one. And he looks at me, and the girl's telling him, hey, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Because that's what I wanted him to do. Because little did he know that once he takes my cart, which was the blue bag, right? Once he takes my cart, guess what the other 2 are going to do? They're going to open fire on him because now he's armed. Because he's got my gun. This idiot. Okay? So if that's the way that you impress girls by going, look how bad I am. Hey, I want to steal one of these little carts. And he says it so loud that I hear him on the green. And I look at him. He didn't know what to do. The girl was like, hey, stop that. Let's leave, whatever. I was dying for him to get back. So you leave your house to go play golf, and you got to deal with idiots and morons like this that are going to pretty much ruin your entire day and probably your entire life. Because if a shooting should have occurred there, immediately they're going to go, 2 retired police officers should have known better. Yeah, I should have known better. That's why I put 22 rounds in his head. Because the guy shouldn't have taken my cart with my stuff in it, including my gun. Then the question is, But if he takes your gun and he takes your cart, how are you going to shoot him 22 times? That's because I carry a second gun. Huh?
So, question.
That's right. Dime.
Talking about this case that happened, you know, this officer, this retired officer who opened fire at a restaurant. Let's say you're at La Ventanita.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone with an open, with their concealed weapon is at La Ventanita, and someone, he shoots.
It's a free-for-all. You can take him out.
You can take him out, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's a threat.
I don't give a shit if you're a retired cop or a retired president. I mean, I don't give a damn. Whatever you are, you're armed, and you commit a crime like that, and I'm there, and I feel that I am in fear for my life and the life of the employees there and the patrons. You can rest assured, and I guarantee you, it's going to go to some how do you call it? Like not an independent review panel, but it'll go somewhere, and they'll go, he's an ex-cop and he should have known better. And with all those people around, he fired, but he did hit him right between the eyes. Oh my God, what a shot! That was premeditated, because that's the kind of shit that we got to listen to every day. Cops need to,
So you have to be a bad shot,
Who, me?
right? That's what you're saying.
Like they
I
said,
sent you
Taken,
something.
Good luck.
I sent you something today on my way here. Give me 1 second.
Dale.
And it's this funny little meme. It says, so if police shoot someone, it's always the officer's fault. But a bad guy shoots a person, and it's the gun's fault, along with the gun manufacturer
Claro.
and the NRA.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, don't hide behind this stuff. They want to take our guns away so they can do whatever the hell they want, and we don't get to protect this wonderful nation from socialism and communism and anything else that these idiots come up with every single day, like this Soros guy, whatever the hell he is. He is lucky that it's 2021, because back in the day he would have not done very well, and I'm sick and tired of it. And if you read the Second Amendment, that's exactly what it says. Okay, it's for you to protect yourself, okay, from idiots like what we have now, that they sit there and they go, we need to take the guns away. You're not going to take anything away, okay? Because I've always been a law-abiding citizen. I was a cop. I consider myself a good cop. But anyways, and I worked my ass off for 30 years out there. And do you think you're going to come to my house? You're going to knock on the door and go, by the way, we're with the Department of, I don't know, they'll make up a department, and we're going to take your guns? ¿Tú crees que yo le voy a dar las armas mías que yo tengo en mi casa a los imbéciles esto? Ay, sí, mira, yo creo que está bien, mira, te voy a entregar las armas mías. No, si voy a comprar más, si puedo comprar bazooka y todas esas cosas, los voy a comprar, ¿ok? Porque estoy cansado de que le quitan las armas a las personas, ¿ok? Las personas buenas. Entonces cuando cogen a los delincuentes estos, como los de la playa, y que le caen a tiro a la gente, entonces coge y dice, es la culpa de las armas, no es la culpa del imbécil ese que fue el que descargó el arma. I mean, don't get me going on the Second Amendment, because I'm very... igual que freedom of speech. Acuérdate una cosa, que esto no empezó con el Second Amendment. Todo este problema empezó, y vamos a ir para atrás, y si alguien está escuchando y quiere opinar, 786-753-7870. 786-753-7870. Llamen para que opinen. Pero esto todo empezó con dos palabritas. ¿Tú te acuerdas las palabritas estas que te decían?
Politically correct.
Politically correct. ¿Tú sabes por qué empezó con eso? Acuérdense de eso. Empezó con eso y la tomadera de agua en pomito, porque antes tomábamos agua de la manguera en el parque cuando íbamos a jugar. Entonces de pronto los muchachos, no tomes agua de la manguera, porque a mí nunca me dio ni malestar de estómago ni nada que se pareciera. Y yo vivía en el parque. Y nosotros tomamos de la manguera, se enfriaba un poco el agua y te tomabas la de eso, y nunca nos enfermamos ni nada de eso. Ahora los niños no pueden caminar. No, si te vas, Joseito, si te vas, por favor, llévate una agüita. Y el niño con la agüita bajo el brazo y la jodera. No me empieces. Y después que me hicieron, no estás, ¿cómo es? Correctamente o políticamente correcto. ¿Qué quiere decir eso? Que lo que tú hables, que tienes el derecho de hablar, porque
aunque sea ofensivo.
A mí no me importa. La Constitución te da el derecho de hablar y decir lo que a ti te dé la reverenda gana. Pero entonces, ¿cómo yo te callo? Eso no es, ¿cómo es?
Politically correct.
Políticamente correcto. Estás equivocado. Entonces tú dices, hay que estar haciendo algo. Perdón si te ofendí. ¿Tú sabes lo que yo le digo a la gente? Si te ofendí, te jodiste. Porque yo no me voy a quedar callado. Yo te voy a decir exactamente lo que yo pienso. Y si no te gusta, too bad. Who cares? politically correct. That's the way to shut people up, and that's how it all started. With that and the water, the that bottled water bullshit.
Your whole theory on bottled water has just blown my freaking mind.
But it's true. Are you shitting me? Listen, when we played in the park, okay, or we went out and we grab a hose and we run the water till the water got cold, and we drank the damn thing, and we never got sick. No, because they have parasites and stuff. What parasites? There was no parasites that go through us, and then we used to drink that, and then all of a sudden they say, "Oh, that is politically incorrect." Oh, that's a good way to shut people up. And then you have the other side of the idiots that go, "Oh, did I offend you? I'm sorry. I'll never mention that again." You know what? You tell me that I'm politically incorrect. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remind you of the damn same thing every single day just to piss you off. You tell me what's politically correct because what you're trying to do it. No, pero es verdad.
No, llegaste.
Shit. You're going to try to take my rights. In the Constitution, it says I have the right to say whatever the hell I want.
And I have the right to say that you're offensive and not and
politically
politically incorrect. And, we need to start handing out safety pins when you walk into a room.
And a safety room. I need a little safety room, too, because I'm scared. They should give every kid for their, hey, what did you give your kid on his 15th birthday? I gave him a hoodie, glasses, and gloves.
Up.
It's 94 degrees outside, and the kids are there with these hoodies. What the hell's that all about?
I had never noticed that. And you've mentioned it so often that the other day, where the hell was I? I was somewhere. And I see the school bus dropping these kids off. And it was hot, Isidoro. It was,
of course,
it's like freaking 90 degrees. And I see this girl walk out of the bus with a long sleeve hoodie, with the hoodie on, jeans, sneakers. The hoodie was like zipped up, and I was like,
oh yeah, zipped up all the way up to their neck.
Up.
Yeah,
all the way up. I go, this one se tiene que estar muriendo. Like, I got hot just looking at it.
Qué peste de tener el hoodie ese. Yeah.
Déjame decirte. You sent me another case. I know we got to go to a commercial break in 4 minutes, so I want to try to talk about this really, really quick.
Hit it.
Says here, a man who was involved in a street race with a motorcyclist that ended with the motorcyclist losing his life. Check this out. Had a 5-year-old in the car at the time with him. Stephen Gabriel Seneca, 35 years old, of Coral Springs, was arrested Tuesday on charges of vehicular homicide, child abuse, racing, reckless driving causing property damage, speeding in excess of 50 miles over the posted speed limit. The fatal crash occurred on January 30th in the area of Southwest 10th Street, just west of Waterways Boulevard in Deerfield. According to BSO, the motorcyclist was heading west in the right turn only lane at a high speed of rate. As the roadway curved, he drove off the road and onto the grass. He was ejected from the motorcycle and came to rest against a nearby face. Grossman said the man was taken to local hospital by Broward Sheriff's fire rescue personnel, where he was pronounced dead. Detectives determined that Seneca, who they believe was racing the motorcyclist, was directly behind the victim in a white Dodge Charger Hellcat. During the course of the race, both vehicles drove recklessly as they reached speeds in excess of 130 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone and made aggressive lane changes while maneuvering through traffic. After the vehicles passed through the intersection of 10th Street and Waterways Boulevard, the driver of the motorcycle failed to negotiate the left curve in the roadway and veered off, crashing into a fence. Grossman said detectives discovered that a 5-year-old child was a passenger inside Seneca's car at the time of the incident. He was booked into Broward County Main Jail on Tuesday and has since been released on bond.
That's right. So all you boys and girls that are out there, because I see some girls too, that decide to go out racing. Like I said, when we used to do it, it was still wrong. It was still illegal. But we used to go to the middle of nowhere and drag race. You go to the left, you hit a tree, and you go to the right, you hit another tree. But now they take off and they go from Miami Beach all the way to Homestead. Yep. Let's see who gets there first. Or wait a minute, it gets better. From 137th Avenue in Tamiami,
and 8th Street,
and 8th Street, right? And they go westbound from 137 to 177. That's 40 blocks. But it's really more than 40 blocks because you remember, you have avenues, you have courts. Okay? So it's about 80 blocks. And what they do is they do top end blast, and not only 2 cars, 2 lanes of traffic or 3 lanes of traffic, and they got 4 cars racing. If somebody else wrecks in that race, you will be charged, even if you didn't touch the other person's car, because you contributed to that accident. You were part of the problem, and you're going to become part of the solution when they come knocking on your door and tell your daddy, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. Okay? And that happens all the time. If you go to 137th Avenue, and I know every trick in the book because they give little codes to different things. If they say Mexico, hey, we're going to Mexico tonight, they're not going to Mexico. They're going to I-75 and Okeechobee Road or wherever the hell it is, and they got different names for different places. So they want to go and you want to go out and race, go ahead and knock yourself out. Somebody gets hurt, somebody gets killed, you're paying for it. Let's take a quick break. When we get back, Cachita has a lot more.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is I'll Call You Back. True Blue Unedited with President Sir
Izzy Martinez
and Cachita Lopez here on Cachita Latina Radio.
Be back.
111, 110. Belligerent and hostile.
Mi gente, esto sí es café, además de bobería. Ay, el café Cachita es como la miel de abeja. Quien lo prueba, no lo deja. Deja que el cerro tenga la llave y que otros bailen al ritmo del pilón. Yo tengo a Cachita, directamente del sembrador a tu taza de café. Sabroso. Es mejor para compartir. Ay, Dios mío, no es chisme mío, mi gente, es la verdad. Café Cachita. Ay, Cachita, qué grande eres, mi madre.
I don't know if it's the fact that now we have more access to multiple streams of information, of news. Everyone has a phone nowadays, and people share information, pero it's like every day there's so many new crazy things going on.
Fort Lauderdale now?
Fort Lauderdale.
There we go.
Some condo residents in Fort Lauderdale were shocked to find several of their vehicles damaged. They believe a man seen stumbling around in the complex did it by throwing fire extinguishers from a third-story hallway. Excuse me.
What?
Surveillance video captured the vandal wandering around the gable arm condominiums along North Ocean Boulevard. I actually saw him on the landing. It's just a scary person, said a resident who had asked not to be identified. At first, a man seen walking barefoot appears to be impaired. Then he picked up the pace. At around the same time, residents said they heard loud noises. His neighbors said that the noise was the sound of fire extinguishers ripped from their boxes on the walls of the third floor hallway and tossed onto the cars below. The hell? Who does that? I heard
some condo commando.
I heard
that
glass
doesn't agree
crashing,
with stuff that's happening in their
like
condo.
someone was throwing a bunch of things in the trash at 4 a.m. It was all broken. Glass from the fire extinguisher next to my kitchen window, said Millie DeLong. He threw it down over and hit my car. That fire extinguisher bounced into another SUV. They actually found the fire extinguisher inside. In all, 7 vehicles were damaged. Residents believe the man captured on surveillance video had something to do with the vandalism. The resident said she peeked outside and saw him carrying an extinguisher. No one seems to know who he is or why he's stumbling around their building. Soon after the man left and the residents were trying to process what happened, one person found a hat next to the stairwell. It appears to be the same hat the man was seen wearing in the security footage. Residents said that they're scared, adding they don't know who he is and why this has happened. We haven't slept since this happened. I don't know what we will. No, I don't know that we will for days. The residents said that they hope the video, they hope the public can help the police find the man seen in the video. If you have any information on this incident or the subject's whereabouts, Call Fort Lauderdale Police or Broward County Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS. Remember, you can always remain anonymous and you may be eligible for a $3,000 reward.
I think it's a neighbor.
You think it's a neighbor?
I think he lives in the building.
And no one knows this guy?
And this
you know,
guy
condos, everyone knows who lives in the damn condos.
Yeah, but you know what the problem with the condos is?
What?
The condo commandos. There's always something going on in those condominiums.
I knew there was one that I had to. Okay, on break when we finish this segment, I'll show you.
Fighting and you know they don't agree with the condominium association, and they're always fighting about this and fighting about that. And I've heard some weird stuff that happens. That's why I couldn't buy a place where there's an association and all that stuff. I'm not the association type. I really am not. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So. I would look at somebody within that building. I don't know how big the building is, and throwing stuff down and stuff. So make sure that. What in the world are you? What are you writing a letter now, or what's going on here?
Notes.
Last time you wrote notes, we went off the air. Okay, the whole
are
damn
you talking
station
about?
just blew up. I'm just kidding.
Nothing blew up around me. Damn it.
And she writes these little notes and shows Magali. She shows in these little notes and says, I don't know, I think we're in trouble.
No.
Is that what you're writing?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No te preocupes, Magali, no estamos hablando más de ti.
Look at her face. Look at her face.
El problema es que cuando ella hace noticas y empieza a escribir noticas, te pone, Magali, esto está en candela, quiere decir que acaba de explotar todos estos aparatos y estas cosas, las cámaras y
Dios
eso.
mío, este hombre.
Y empezó a escribir y yo le dije, ¿qué estás escribiendo? Sí, porque ya la conozco a ella hoy. No. Mira, ahora la otra me quiere tirar también eso. Qué bien, qué graciosita las dos. But anyways, what is it that you wanted to talk about now?
Just one more thing on South
Hit
Beach.
it. Oh,
Just
South
one more-
Beach?
I know.
Man, we've done the Tour de France today.
We have.
City, Hialeah, Fort Lauderdale, Deerfield.
Yeah, Miami and
Go ahead.
Fort Lauderdale.
Go ahead.
Babaga. A Miami Beach resident said loud and disruptive gatherings in residential areas after 8 p.m. curfew went into effect have her fearing for her safety in her own neighborhood, and she wants city leaders to do something about it. I saw this video, and I thought it was fantastic to have a local resident.
Mm-hmm.
We do this here, and we have zero filter, and we call out all these hypocrites and all these
That's what
politicians.
we're doing. That's why we're doing it.
So to see someone also, just a regular resident come out, actually call news stations and say, I need to denounce this, and they need to do something. I found that very powerful. It says here, longtime South Beach resident Tanya Dean says she's fearful police won't be able to control the crowds that have flocked to the tourist destination during spring break. I was so scared I didn't even want to see it, said Dean. Last week, city officials enforced an 8 p.m. curfew in the entertainment district as a measure to curb the overwhelming crowds. We have so many police officers here. We'll arrest you. We don't want that behavior, said Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gelber. Come here to have a responsible, fun vacation. Don't come here to be a jerk.
Sure.
Cameras captured Miami Beach police officers clearing a section of the entertainment district Thursday night. Please return to your hotel rooms or wherever you're staying, an officer in a police SUV told passersby through a loudspeaker. Visitors who spoke said they were not happy about it. I'm mad as hell. It's South Beach, Miami, spring break. Why do we have to go in the house?
Viste.
The streets were mostly cleared out by 8:30, but last weekend, hundreds of revelers who were ordered out migrated west and held widely documented impromptu street parties in the residential areas. This is what I was telling you. In these apartments, these little complexes that have little courtyards and stuff. It was all over. Dean said the revelers caused more dangerous situations after the curfew went into effect. They jumped on cars. They climbed on buildings. A lot of property was destroyed and everybody was scared. Dean says this is why she is calling out city leaders for what she described as a lack of preparation and asking them to carry out a better plan. I'm not on a witch hunt. I'm not calling for anyone's job. I want to work with them, and this is my reaching out to work with them. Miami Beach police officer Ernesto Rodriguez addressed crowd control issues and how the department will help keep the peace. We have additional officers in that residential area to prevent this type of spillage that we did see into those residential communities. We're going to do our best to control and limit to ensure the party stays within the entertainment district and our residential areas remain exactly that, residential areas. Police are enforcing the 8 p.m. curfew from Thursday to Sunday until at least April 11th. From 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., eastbound traffic on the MacArthur and Julia Tuttle Causeways will be limited to area residents, hotel guests, delivery drivers, and employees heading into work. During these hours, the Venetian Causeway will only be open to Miami Beach residents.
Why? Why close anything? Just deal with whatever problem you got there. But you know how to deal with it. You're not going to do it because you're a politician. That's the bottom line. You know, we should have somebody from Miami Beach here. Not from, listen, Miami Beach government is not going to come here and talk to us because they're not going to do that. As a matter of fact, I already told you, I had a couple of commissioners that I send them invitations and they don't want to come. They obviously never even answered.
I got to tell you something off the air about one of the politicians. Go
okay,
ahead.
they don't want to deal with this. And they don't want to come over because they know they're going to get the hard questions. And I'm not going to sit there and pussyfoot around it. That's the bottom line. But we should get some of the residents from Miami Beach to call in and give us your information, okay? Or go to our Facebook and send us a message, and we will come back and respond to you, okay? And we'll have you on the show. You got the entire 2 hours. We can sit there and talk. You can have an hour if you don't want to just stay the whole 2 hours. And we'll go ahead and put we'll put it all together and so on and so forth. Because it's ridiculous. We can sit here and sing Kumbaya all day and say, we had a problem. Yeah, but you never solved it.
That's it. That is it.
No. How do you solve it? It's really simple. You send a field force. We don't want to see a field force because the field force looks, like a very militant.
It's very militarized.
Get the hell out! Wait a minute. When dealing with these animals, because the people that were out there doing this stuff, they were animals, and I'm not referring to black, white, green, or yellow. Anybody that was out there jumping on cars and doing that. So if the shoe fits, then you wear it. ¿Te entiendes? Porque no es para decir que fueron negro, blanco, asiático, que esto lo otro. Pero si el zapato te sirve, tú te lo pones, como dicen en inglés. And then the bottom line is, they should have sent the second day that it happened. By the third day, they should have had a field force. And they know that they could have had a field force there in a second. The county would have said present. The city would have said present. BSO would have said present.
Now we have another problem, though.
Oh, boy.
When they impose these curfews, what happens?
The restaurants.
Those kids don't want to stay on South Beach till 8 o'clock.
What do?
Wynwood.
Oh, they go to
City of Miami.
All right.
Downtown.
Yeah,
Brickell.
That's a good. Well, I don't know about this new guy Acevedo, but
so it says here,
not a good idea, guys.
it was the start of another round of 8 p.m. weekend curfew in Miami Beach's entertainment district. And on Thursday night, it did not take long for the police to clear the streets. Amen. Causeways into the city were restricted too. This particular area needs to be really battened down at night, and we're going to continue to do that until we're pretty clear we don't have to, said Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gelber. Scenes of packed, raucous crowds have put South Beach in the glare of the national spotlight and has city leaders trying to crack down on crime that has curbed the party for others. I'm sorry for the abridgment of evening activities. There are other places, by the way, in the city and county to go to. This is what the fucking mayor said.
Oh, please tell them to come to the county. Dile que vengan para acá.
Pero how can the mayor say, well, you can't mess up our place, but there's other places that you can go?
Claro.
Pero es para cagarse en ese tipo.
No, ¿qué fue lo que yo te dije a ti? El tipo es un pendejo.
Un super pendejo.
Ese tipo no tiene, ¿cómo se llama esto? He doesn't have a spine. Okay, how can you say instead of coming to the beach, why don't you go to the county, go to the city?
Yeah, that's what he said. There are other places to go, by the way, in the city and the county to go to.
Well, let them go to the county. Go ahead and go to the county. I guarantee you that Freddie Ramirez is not going to sit there and go, I think we have a problem.
Pero es un total come mierda. ¿Cómo es que, Magali, a ver, Miami Beach no puede controlar lo que está sucediendo. Implementaron un toque de queda a las 8 de la noche. Right? De jueves a domingo hasta que se acabe la temporada esta de vacaciones, que es el 12 de abril. Ok, perfecto. ¿Cómo es que ahora el alcalde de Miami Beach va a decir, bueno, hay otros lugares donde pueden irse, aquí no pueden formar eso, pero pueden ir a la ciudad, pueden ir al condado,
Right.
pero ¿cómo tú vas a hacer eso? Si además tienes a la policía de Miami-Dade, la de la ciudad de Miami, la de Coral Gables, la de Miami Gardens, todo el mundo te está ayudando a arreglar tu mojón que tú no preparaste.
No, que no tuvo los pantalones bien puestos para arreglarlos desde primero.
Entonces, ahora, además que tienes los policías de las municipalidades estas,
Ujú.
ahora va a decir, no, vengan a formar lío aquí y váyanse para allá, váyanse para otro lado. Dude, es que
Es como que a tu casa le entre alguien y te roben y tú le digas, oye, pero ¿por qué me vinieron a robar a mí con tantos
Pero
vecinos?
váyanse para allá, vete
oye
para casa de
esto,
mi vecina.
Con tantos vecinos que yo tengo de billetes que tienen Mercedes-Benz y Lamborghini y eso, ¿por qué no van y le roban a ellos en vez de robarme a mí?
Es
Eso
un
es básicamente
asshole,
lo que digo. Al otro día los vecinos te quieren matar. ¿Cómo tú vas a decir eso después que el condado, la ciudad y toda esta gente te están ayudando con las estupideces, las decisiones que hiciste?
Ay, Francis Suárez ha dicho, we are telling our residents who may be worried about the consequences of some of the decisions in Miami Beach that we are ready.
Of course.
Okay?
Yes.
We want to warn those who are not in the city, from the city, who may have been on Miami Beach, that kind of behavior we've seen in Miami Beach is not going to be tolerated.
That's it.
Kudos to Mayor Francis Suárez
No es nada.
por
Pero-
haber, aunque sea, haber dicho, coño. Francis Suárez lo dijo.
No, pero ya le mandó-
Ustedes formaron todo este lío allá, pero aquí no lo van a formar.
Claro. No.
No,
Aquí
eso no será tolerado.
No, pero eso es lo que tenía que hacer el alcalde
¡Claro!
del lugar este. Porque te voy a decir y te lo voy a repetir. El jefe de la policía, no para defender la policía. Yo cuando le tengo que tirar, le sé tirar también a cuando hacen decisiones malas a los jefes. Pero el jefe de la policía, él no tiene que ver nada con eso. El que tiene que ver es el alcalde, porque yo te garantizo que el jefe de la policía a lo mejor le dijo, oye, vamos a llamar al condado, vamos a llamar a la ciudad, vamos a llamar a Broward County, que puede venir Broward County a actuar aquí. ¿Ok? Vamos a hacer una cosa, vamos a llamar a esas personas para que vengan a ayudarnos aquí, esos oficiales que vengan a ayudarnos aquí. Y él seguro que le dijo, no queremos eso porque eso no luce bien. Ah, ¿y tú crees que luce bien lo que tú estás dejando de hacer ahí? De desbaratar los carros, hacer, bueno, las barbaridades que hicieron, lo que dieron a tiro a uno. No.
El brazo que le partieron al
¿Tú viste a
pobre
las
hombre.
muchachas en el expressway?
Yes.
Con ¿cómo se llama esto? Con truzas esas de tanga y los hombres agarrándola y subiéndose y
Y
mordiendo.
tocándolas y
¿Qué es
todo.
eso? Y ellos celebrando porque estaban en el expressway, estaban en la carretera de Miami parando el tráfico y estaban orgullosos de eso. Mira, mi hermana, en los días cuando yo empecé en la policía, si eso llega a pasar, no digo que iban a llevar una aplanadora, pero sí te puedo decir que no lo hubieran tolerado. Pero bueno, aquí estamos en el 2021, todo cuenta, todo
Ay,
sea
Dios
aceptable
mío, no
y
puedo.
para adelante, a fumar marihuana, como dicen esta gente, que es lo que le gusta, y mana,
No puedo con esto.
esto está jodido.
Ay, Dios mío. Oye, we gotta go, Isidoro.
Arriba.
We're gonna be back on Monday. We want to thank, again, Brandon Patterson for being here
Yes, and Everly,
with us yesterday.
did you get the update?
Pulsito, I have not
Wait.
seen the update.
Hey,
El que quiera comprar su pulsito,
I am wearing.
Mari has
All
her
three of
pulsito
us are
too.
wearing. Absolutely, and my whole family is wearing them already.
I love it.
That's right.
I absolutely
and
love
I even
it.
bought, look, a shirt that matches it.
111, 110. Belligerent and hostile.
Welcome back to the Locked for Life podcast. You can listen to us live every single weekday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on SiriusXM channel 154, Cachita Latin Radio. Don't forget to have a cachita coffee, el mejor para compartir. My name is Tony Cortez Jr., and sitting across from me, as always, is Dr. Ramon Milian Rodriguez. He was the chief financial officer of the Medellin cartel who laundered $19 billion. The man Pablo Escobar referred to as El Señor de Dinero, the Lord of Money. He was a covert CIA operative accredited with over 700 kills, and he served 25 years in federal prison. And he's here to share his truths and his experiences as we debate about current topics. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you.
You know, today we're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things, but to start us off, we're going to talk about our favorite form of currency, which is Bitcoin, and its association now with Tesla, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, actually, you know, when I saw what Tesla had done and Elon Musk had done, I was reminded of something Potter Stewart said. He was the justice with the Supreme Court, and they were hearing a case of pornography. And he said, you know, I can't describe pornography, but I know it when I see it. And I'm going to paraphrase him. You know, I can't describe a financial crime, but I know it when I see it. And I just saw a financial crime. And
How so?
Well, you know, Elon Musk is a genius.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
And what I saw that Tesla did this last, well, actually they did it 4 months ago, but it came to light today, was a financial crime done by an evil genius. There's a difference between a genius and an evil genius. You know, genius comes in all kinds. You know, Mother Teresa, Lex Luthor, Albert Einstein. There's sane geniuses, insane geniuses.
Good, evil.
Good, evil, rational, irrational. And when I saw what Tesla had done, I recognized a crime. And then I heard somebody describe Elon Musk in the same way I was described about 40 years ago. And then I saw it. He's an evil genius, you know.
How did they describe him? That it's how they described
okay,
you.
well, I'll tell you. I was a problem solver.
Yeah.
And I was sent to solve a problem with my partner, Braulio. And I'm a disciple of Occam's razor, which says the simplest solution is the best, the shortest, fastest solution is the best. Which kind of fits me because, you know, I lived in a violent world, and it was Occam's razor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to solve a problem, and the people were complaining. And my partner turned to them and said, look, you brought us here to solve this problem. It's solved, okay? When you bring us to solve a problem, you got to let Ramon be Ramon.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I heard somebody say about Elon Musk yesterday, I think, was, you got to let Elon be Elon. And I was like, oh, my God, you know. They're describing him in the same way they describe me. So now I know a crime was committed, you know.
Absolutely.
And here's what they did. And it's extremely interesting because here's what an evil genius does. An evil genius takes legal things that are lying around to be used and combines them in such a way that they become a crime, but which can be prosecuted. It's like in the Chicago song, it was murder but not a crime.
Ah, okay.
So here's what they did. Right after their last filing with the SEC, Tesla went out and converted roughly 7% of their cash into Bitcoin. Okay. Now they knew that they didn't have to report this for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they secretly owned Bitcoin for 4 months. They spent $1.5 billion on Bitcoin.
Wow.
They had $19 billion in assets, in cash assets, I'm sorry, and they converted it to 1.5 billion in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is not money.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is an asset. During those 4 months, Elon Musk took the social media, which now has been shown to be so powerful, and started working as an influencer, which is legal.
Yeah.
Okay, so he started talking up Bitcoin, very, very coyly. Okay, now if you're a social media influencer, let's say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he's got 200 million followers, and when he says, "I like these shoes,"
People go out and buy the shoes.
people go out and buy the shoes, and perhaps millions of pairs of shoes get sold, but the price of shoes remains the same.
Yeah.
All these influencers do is move product.
Yeah. They
Okay.
align themselves with something.
Clothes, shoes, shampoo, whatever. But all that they do is move product.
Yeah, they get it sold.
They get it sold. And if the product moves a lot, then the underlying company that produces it might go up in value a little bit. Okay? So if The Rock is going to push whatever, let's say Nike shoes, for instance. Well, he can buy Nike stock, then push the shoes, and when the shoes sell and Nike does really well and the stock goes up, he makes money selling the shoes and on the increase in price of the stock. Now, Elon is an influencer, but he's influencing Bitcoin in price. In other words, he doesn't move, more Bitcoins don't get sold, they just go up in price.
Yeah.
All right? And he's changing the price of something he owns.
He's driving up something
It
that he
should
owns.
it should be illegal,
Yeah.
but yet it's not. That's his evil genius. He's the one that perfected the short squeeze. When a stock has a lot of people betting against it, and they sell the stock by borrowing, he would come out in social media and talk up his company and say, I got this new thing coming out. He would do something that would drive the price up against the people that were selling,
Yeah.
the short sellers. He would squeeze them. So he would squeeze them with information and, with predictions. Tesla's going to sell 1 million cars and they're going to do 600 miles on one charge. Something that he's not going to be held to because he has an opinion,
Yeah.
which he shares it, right?
Exactly. It's not. You
So-
take it with a grain of salt.
Well, you normally would, except in his case, people go out
And do it.
and buy the stock and hold it and drive the price up and kills the short sellers, right? So he treats social media as a game, but it's a very profitable game. And I think it's interesting that the people who, the youngsters for Robin Hood, really thought he was one of them.
Yeah.
When they came out and they started the short squeeze on GameStop, they were copying Elon. And he came out with a one-word tweet, "Game stunk," and the price went to $480.
Yep.
Okay, and unfortunately for a lot of these kids, they bought at those high prices, thinking it was going to go from $480 to $1,000. But gravity's gravity. You can't fight gravity.
Yeah.
Unless you're a superhero,
Everything that goes up must come down.
it comes down. Okay, and today GameStop is trading in the 40s. Now, a lot of innocent folks lost a lot of money, while the Wall Street pros made money on GameStop. Okay, and Elon just thinks it's a joke. And people haven't really picked up on the fact that he's an evil genius.
Yeah.
And he's out there for himself. He's not out for the Robin Hooders of the world. It's about Elon and the game of life that he plays with other people's lives. Okay, so he knew that the SEC filing was going to come out, and everybody was going to find out that he was holding 1.5 billion of Bitcoin.
Which would have naturally itself brought up the price.
Absolutely, but then he does something which is more egregious to me. He said when the news comes out, he says, "Yeah, and I'm also thinking of accepting Bitcoin for my cards. You can pay me with Bitcoin."
Wow.
Well, Bitcoin is at 47,000 today. I mean,
Skyrocketed.
put a rocket motor under the price.
Not only that, but it gives it a value that it didn't have before. Now, a big name car company and Elon Musk is accepting Bitcoin, which kind of gives it a floor to stand on. It shouldn't drop out of the sky now.
It's a game changer,
Mhm.
okay, but it's really not. And let me tell you why. People are assuming that Bitcoin is now money,
Yeah.
that you can use it to buy a car. Well, nobody's going to use a Bitcoin to buy a car. A Bitcoin is an asset. So what Elon is suggesting is, let's go back to bartering, how we used to do it 300 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll trade you this horse for those 2 cows, and this pair of shoes is worth 5 dozen eggs. Barter, exchange of assets without money in the middle.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is an asset. Bitcoin is not money. Money has 4 basic characteristics. It's a medium of exchange. We agree to exchange it. So we agree that
That something is worth that price.
A dollar's a dollar.
Yeah.
It's a measure of value. We agree that cachita coffee is worth $3 a packet.
Mhm.
We agree on a measure of value. Then it has to be a standard of payment for deferred debt. I want to buy a home. I need a mortgage. They'll lend me $300,000 for 30 years,
Mhm.
and I have to pay it back in dollars. Nobody's going to lend you $300,000 for 30 years and let you pay it back in Bitcoin. And then it has to be a store of value. Money, the dollar, loses about 2% a year, and roughly loses value about 2% a year, and that's roughly the increase in population.
Mhm.
Okay, it's baked into it,
Yeah.
because the more people there are, the more dollars you have to print.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bitcoin is limited to 21 million Bitcoins. There'll never be 21 million one Bitcoin. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's like owning a house or owning a car, and the idea is that the difference is that if you own a car, usually it decreases in value over time because you use it gets worn out.
Yeah.
And if you own a house, it increases over time about 3%. Okay, the idea is that Bitcoin, by the fact that it has a limited quantity and people want it, is going to increase in value, and it's going to outperform the stock market, which gives you 8% over time.
Mhm.
Housing, that gives you 3% over time. So the idea is Bitcoin is a better investment. And look, it's not money, but I agree that things are worth what people are willing to pay for.
Mhm.
Okay? So whereas I would not own a Bitcoin, I agree that enough people say it's worth 47,000 for it to be worth 47,000.
Hmm.
The question is, what's it going to be worth tomorrow? And that's something that we'll discuss at the next segment.
Absolutely.
It's gonna take
We're
a
going to
little more
continue to
time.
talk about Bitcoin when we get right back. You're listening to the Lost for Life podcast right here on Sirius XM channel 154. Remember, this podcast comes out every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Stick around.
de negocio y necesitas dinero ahora mismo, después de todo lo que hemos pasado en estos momentos difíciles,
Desde $5,000 hasta $250,000 podrían estar en tus manos ahora mismo, antes de 24 horas.
te presento a Primo Cash. Cuando los bancos te dicen no, Primo Cash te dice sí.
Tu negocio necesita dinero por cualquier razón. No importa si tienes mal crédito, buen crédito o si no tienes crédito. Primo Cash te dice sí.
No necesitas colateral.
No hay fees por aplicar. No esperes más.
Si tu negocio necesita cash,
Llama a Primo Cash.
Welcome back to the Locked for Life podcast. When we left off, we were talking about Bitcoin and Tesla and everything in between. And we left off on the question, what will Bitcoin be worth tomorrow? And that is the question that is important because we don't know. It has no base. It's volatile. 4 months ago, it was
Manufacture
Yeah.
electronics.